Hello, my friends. We are here at the Northwest Flower and Garden Show in Seattle, and I am so excited today because there's so much creativity and flowers blooming everywhere. And today I'm going to interview the founder of Hello Garden, Kate David, and I want you to come along with me and let's see what Kate has to share with her beautiful garden that she created here. Let's go. No worries. Here we are. As we walk towards Kate's garden, the sound of water is what really drew me in because there's something about flowing water and good conversation that feels the same because both make space. And when you sit down with someone who truly loves the earth, you don't talk about plants, you talk about seasons, resilience, and what it means to grow. All right, Kate, it is awesome to be here. This space you have created.
Thank you. Thank you. It's good to have you here.
Thank
it's good
you.
to have you here. I'm so glad you reached out.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you reached out.
Fantastic. All right, so I have tons of questions for you.
Okay.
How did your love of gardening take root? Let's start from the basics.
Yeah. I have a lot of really core memories of being in the garden. My mom is a big gardener. My aunts are big gardeners. My grandparents were gardeners. And some of those early core memories are literally being barefoot in the grass. We always grew all of our own vegetables. My mom would send me out with a basket to actually pick things from our garden for dinner, which is really cool.
Well, and I love the inner girl. I mean, that's one of the things I talk about a lot in the Grow Your Girl channel is our inner girl. So your inner girl really...
My inner girl was always gardening. In fact, my very first dedicated garden bed, I was 12, and my dad ripped out a little garden bed outside my bedroom window, and he let me plant whatever I wanted. And my mom took me to the store, and we got wildflower seeds, and so that was my first dedicated space. That was just something that was purely my own.
Wow.
And I started learning how to seed save and just experiment. And I have a lot of really amazing memories associated with that first experimental space.
And was it during that time, do you remember the first moment or moments that you realized it was more than just the plants, that there was something more to it all?
I actually think that, God, that's actually a really good question. I think it's a number of things, but I don't think I put the pieces together until I was in my 30s. Because when I look back, and my mom actually saved a bunch of the books that I enjoyed most as a child, they were all, literally, there were two groupings. There were plants, and there was this boat adventuring story, which I'm still like, is that going to be part of the next chapter, right? It was this setting sail on an adventure, which actually could just be evocative of my life. But it wasn't until I had all three of my kids, and I was kind of in this point where, life throws a lot at you. And
those seasons of your life.
It was a rough season.
Yeah.
And I just woke up one day and I just thought to myself, this life is very short. And what do I want my children to see? And they were a big, actually really emotional about it, because I'm like, what do I want my kids to see? Who am I as a mother if I am not demonstrating living my passion? Yes, I'm successful. I can do lots of different things. I'm good in HR. I'm excellent in construction, which I have a background in construction.
Okay.
With new home building. But at the end of the day, my passion is plants, flowers, community, and marrying people together with the plant world around them. And so it was really in my 30s that it all started to come together.
And I felt it when my mother died. It's like my garden has helped me through grief, right?
Ooh, yeah.
To be able to go out there and just know that every purple flower I saw was her.
The day my dad died, I was in the garden. He died in the middle of the night, and we've been in the hospital, and very short, quick battle with cancer. 7 weeks and he was gone.
Wow.
And I didn't know what to do. And so that morning I went in the garden, and I just started weeding, and I started moving plants around, and I just needed to be somewhere that felt comforting, you know?
Totally.
Yeah, because when your
Totally.
world gets rocked, oh my gosh,
And
your
it's
compass it spins. Your compass spins. Yeah, with the loss of a parent.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Hearing you through. What has gardening, especially putting on something like this, taught you about confidence?
Ooh, that is rough because you feel the imposter syndrome for so many years as a self-taught designer who is running her own business. And I had this, even with the garden show, I would come every year. I'm working as a designer and I'm thinking there's no way I can do this.
And how many years have you been doing this?
I've been in business. Oh, this is my fourth show garden.
Fourth show garden, and you've been in business
11 going on 12 years.
Nice.
In a couple months it'll be 12 years.
And what made you decide to make it a business? Like, how did you walk out of your garden and say, I'm gonna do this for other people?
Oh, it's actually a good story.
Okay.
It's actually a good story. My neighbor across the street asked if I would redo their garden and if I would help them. I used to live on a busy street and people would always come by and ask me questions. And so my neighbor asked, she said, can you redo my garden? She had tons of hardscaping, tons of brick. I was like, there's no way I can do it. However, I will find someone for you. And I found Jen Zabo, who was the partner on the greenhouse garden over there. And so I referred her to Jen. I stayed in for a couple meetings, and then their project started. Jackhammers the whole nine. 2 days later, their next door neighbor came over and knocked on my door. And they said, okay, we don't have $65,000 to redo our front yard, but we need help. Could you help coach us through the design? And I said, okay. And they're like, how much are you? And at this point, I'm like, I don't know. And I said, let's just trade a couple bottles of wine. And so I designed their garden. I just needed to see if I had the chops. And I mean, my youngest was in a Snuggly.
Wow.
That's how long ago this was. And so I went over, I designed their garden, and Jen said, well, I'll take you to my wholesalers and we'll buy all the plants. And I remember driving onto that wholesale lot, which is acres upon acres. So it's a really different than a normal nursery. I drove onto that lot and I had full body chills. And I swear I heard a voice that said, this is it.
Do it.
And I went and I installed that garden, and I actually showed them how to dig everything in. And I told them how to transplant everything. And the next day I came back and I to just check on them and see how everything was going. And the husband handed me a check. And I said, you cannot pay me. Our agreement was a few bottles of wine. And he said, I can't not pay you because our neighbor has paid $65,000. We have spent $5,000, and we are as equally as proud of our garden. And so I'm going to give you this $500 check. And at the time, I was a single mom, and he said, but if you cash this, you have to promise me you will start your business.
Wow.
So I cashed it, and I started my business.
Wow. That is a beautiful story. Where in your business at this point after 11 years do you still feel like a beginner? Like,
oh my gosh. You know what's interesting? Actually, like a piece that I still feel like I have a lot of learning to do is actually with technology.
okay.
And I talk to Brian all the time about it. I'm like, I almost feel like I want to go back to school to learn some of the new beautiful technology that's coming through. And that's where I still feel like a beginner, but also there's something about my brain processing through the hand drawing process. It like ticks a weird creative box for me, but that is where
And so tell me more about the technology part. What part of technology?
Putting drawings into programs like CAD and SketchUp and all of that.
Yeah.
I still feel like a little bit of a newbie because I've always hand drawn. And it's just part of my creative brain, you know?
Right.
So that is where I still feel new. I still feel like I always have, but also you can say that I'm always learning because there's never a final destination. I'm always a student. Always.
I totally feel that way. Totally.
I will go through here and I will take snapshots of combinations that every single one of these designers have done because I am a student of the craft. I will never stop learning.
Right. Because then it gets boring too, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely.
How do you handle failure in the garden?
I fail all the time. I like to tell people I kill more plants than anyone I know.
Yeah. Well, I could be a runner-up with you.
Yeah. Okay. You can. I will give you a runner-up title. But I actually don't think there's failure in the garden. I don't think it exists.
Well, do you feel? I mean, I feel sometimes like I'm not supposed to grow this plant. Like this is not a particular
Oh.
kind of. Like I'm right now trying to grow pansy from seed indoors,
Oh yeah.
and I just can't do it. I can grow them by
Are you growing them on cold?
Yes. I did it cold, and now they're leggy. I put them under a towel. I did all the things.
You did all the things.
And
Okay, we'll talk later about it.
Okay, all right.
We'll talk later about it. But yeah, no, there are certain things that I really struggle to grow. What's an example? What is an example? Eggplant. Why can't I? No, that's not a good example. There's one thing that I almost am about ready to give up on. Cauliflower.
Cauliflower. Yeah.
I can't grow cauliflower to save my life. I just don't know what it is. But you're always gonna have that white whale, right? That you just
You just look at it and you go.
you're just looking and you're like,
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
even know what's happening here. But I also think I'm okay with that. I don't need to be the best at everything. That is also, I think that's a maturity piece though.
Right.
I've given up trying to be the best of everything, so I'm just gonna focus on being the best of me, and it'll work out.
It will indeed. And what do you say to people that come to you and say, I can't. I don't have a green thumb. I can't garden. I just kill everything.
Yeah,
Which I hear a lot.
absolutely. Absolutely. You start small and you don't give up.
And you don't give up.
I think
Easy.
a lot of times people are trying to do too much.
Even to the watering. I hear that a lot too. Well, I forget to water. Then do you forget to put gas in your car? I mean,
Yeah, yeah. And I think the other thing is it's about finding your right match. It's about finding your right speed. And if you're not successful with something, move on. Try again. Try a different method and be okay with failing time and time again. Because eventually you are going to hit it and you are going to feel amazing.
so good.
Yeah. But I also think when people are starting to grow vegetables, I always give them my easy recommendations. Start with something that is going to help you feel successful. Put a radish seed in the ground because you will feel successful because no matter what, that thing will grow through cracks in the pavement and you'll feel successful. And it's just getting that first little taste of it that will propel you into more advanced gardening. Yeah.
Cool. All right. So, what is the essence of the personality of this garden that you created here at the show?
So this is the Garden Maker's Atelier, and I think for this garden, one thing I was really hoping to kind of convey that the garden is not about something fancy. It's not about having this one idea of gardening success. It is, who are you as a gardener? Who am I as a gardener? Are we even the gardener? Or is it something else? And so I've taken a lot of it. So I do feel like this garden looks very me. It's a little messy. It's something you want to touch. It's something you want to be with and interact with. And there's lots of conifers. I'm always going to have a heavy dose of English garden and Northwest naturalism, but it's inherently going to be floral because that's who I am. But then I also chose a lot of conifers based on their names because I think that I'm not the only garden maker in my garden. And so we've got little things that are named. There's a little spruce called Pixie Dust. There's a pine called Angel Falls. The globe spruces that are all up and down the waterways, those are actually called Moonstone. And so there's all these little hidden nuggets that say, maybe I'm not actually the gardener. This Cephalotaxis back here, it's called Hedgehog. Because I just feel like we're not the only ones doing a garden here.
Right.
Yeah.
And what one piece does your inner girl, does she just like a magnet go to of what you've created? Can you say one thing?
Okay. There's a couple. I think from a floral perspective, I love a Daphne Adora. I have a lot of childhood memories of a Daphne door because my mom always planted them outside our back door. And that has like, I think as a little girl, I have so many memories that are associated with scent and texture and touch. And so Daphne is really, that's one that really speaks to me. And then the conifer elements for me are also really important because I collect a lot of hours on like Whidbey Island. So we have some beautiful islands in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, sure.
And there's something about the smell of conifers and the western sword fern that like it takes me back to being a little girl running wild in the woods because we had 5 acres and my parents rolled in a trailer and they would just let us
On
run
Whidbey
wild.
Island, yeah.
Yeah, so my mom and dad had 5 acres and each of my aunts and their families had 5 acres and they were all connected. We inherited them from my grandfather. And my cousins and I, we got to run the trails. So all 15 acres, we just got to be feral children in the woods. And it was like, that's a core memory too. So those are the things that like really, really tug at the little girl in me.
At its heart, what is Hello Garden?
It's an invitation.
An invitation. I love it.
It's an invitation. I started it with the energy of I wanted people to say hello to their garden. I wanted people to get their fingers in the dirt and introduce themselves to their spaces because as I watched people interact in their garden in those first few days, or a friend would move into a new home and they would invite me over to just tour their garden, there was a fear of putting their hands in the dirt. It was the wildest thing.
Which is the funnest part of it all.
It's the funnest part of it all. Or like I'm over here and like we're caressing this like beautiful juncus, right?
Yeah.
If you watch anyone here on the floor, we will absent-mindedly be playing with all of these plants. Yet a new gardener, we've grown up in this era where sometimes they are really afraid to get their hands dirty. They're afraid to make a mistake. They're afraid that they don't know what to do. Well, guess what? You do it anyways. You say hello anyways, and eventually you're going to say hello, and that garden is going to say hello back. So it is like an invitation to get out there and literally, I say this in every video, say hello to your garden.
I love it.
Like that, like just get in there, do the thing.
I love it. I love it. All right. Well, that's really what I wanted to share with the Grow You Girl audience. It is so awesome to get to know you, to be here with you.
This is so special.
And thank you for what you bring to the planet.
Thank you for your questions.
Yeah.
These are like juicy questions. They're juicy. They're juicy. And I also think these are like good journal questions for everyone else out there.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
Because we all have the power to do it.
I am not some special secret like pixie in the garden.
Well, you kind of are, but you know.
But I am like a woman whose hobby got well out of hand, and I am obsessed with bringing joy to garden spaces. And I think everyone has that little something in them. And I think the other thing is like encouraging people to figure out what that song is for them, and then just sing it. You know,
sing the song.
Yeah. Do the thing, sing the song.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
You bet. Thank you. Thank you. And we have a wrap. Sitting outside Kate's greenhouse that was filled with such whimsical items she had curated, including some beautiful chairs that were her grandmother's. The hustle and the bustle of the show was all around us. We were surrounded by light and life. Our conversation felt rooted in something deeper, something that spoke of legacy, courage, creativity, because when we grow gardens with intention, belief, and of course love, we grow ourselves too. And that, my friends, is at the heart of it all. Until next week, remember to plant often and to always do it with love. The question I'll leave you with this week is, what are you ready to grow? What part of your confidence are you ready to build and to shift to make your world and the world around you just a better place filled with love. Please leave a comment and subscribe for more. We come out every Sunday morning.